Well, I guess the basic emotion that comes to mind when I think of the onset of my deafness was the emotion of being afraid. Very much fearful of being cut off from the things that I was used to doing, the people that I was used to relating to. I was a high school teacher and was very much engaged in teaching. I was a full-time high school teacher at Hales Franciscan High School here in Chicago. And when I began to experience the hearing loss that comes with Meniere's disease, I realized that my days in the classroom were numbered. And so that was going to be a change. And I think that any change in people's lives is a fearful thing, but this was certainly a scary thing for me. And then once I had the surgery that went with this particular disease and pretty well stabilized my life again, then I was diagnosed with colon cancer. And that again was another scary experience. And I've gotten through that, and no sooner did I kind of get released from that doctor's care than I was diagnosed with post-polio syndrome, and now I'm experiencing rheumatoid arthritis. So, you know, it has been a succession of different health issues that I've had to deal with, and in each case, I would say that the overwhelming emotion was one of fear. But as you get into it further and further, some of that fear goes away, and you begin to cope with it.
And how did you do that? What was the process?
Well, that's an interesting story too, mostly through prayer, but also through my spiritual director, a close friend that I discussed things with. And one day I was celebrating Mass at downtown at St. Peter's, and the gospel for the day was the gospel of the Annunciation, where the angel comes and tells Mary that she's going to be the Mother of God. The basic message is, the Lord is with you. And I got up in the pulpit that day and I thought preached a rather eloquent sermon about you can do anything as long as you know the Lord's with you. But then it was like somebody hit me in the head with a ball-peen hammer and said, are you listening to yourself? You know, I was concentrating so much on preaching to other people that the gospel message wasn't getting through to me. And that's when I started paying attention to that aspect, that God is with me in my illness, in my disability. And that with that, my fear, I won't say it went away, because I don't think it ever goes away, but it became something that I could cope with.
What has it taught you? What has it taught you about people, about yourself, about the world you live in?
Well, it's a completely different lens that you look through now. I mean, I look at the world in a completely different way. First of all, I need help. You know, I can't do everything that I used to be able to do. I need assistance with common things. I depend upon bus drivers who will wait for me when I'm trying to catch the bus, or will be patient with me when I'm trying to climb the stairs of a bus. I'm dependent upon people, you know, assisting me with heavy loads, or just the common ordinary things like carrying my laundry up and down from the basement when I do my wash. Just the ordinary things of daily life, you know, you realize that you need people's help. And so that's one thing that I think was a powerful lesson for me, is that I am not, you know, self-sufficient. I'm not able to do everything for myself. And that, of course, has helped me understand other people who have illnesses. One of the best examples of that was when I celebrated my silver jubilee as a priest. I decided to go back to school, and I took a few courses at the local seminary. And one of those was in the Gospel of John. We came to that gospel passage where the man is waiting by the pool of Bethesda for 26, 30 years, waiting for help. And the teacher asked people's reaction in the classroom. And one by one, people kept on really putting this guy down. Did he really want to be healed? And I listened to them, and when it got to the point where I was asked to say what my reaction was, I said, well, the first thing I have to say is that I think that no one else in this room has ever been sick before. Because, I would like nothing better than to have the Lord come and touch my ear or touch my limbs and make me whole again. But I know that's not going to happen. But the Lord touches me through the help of other people. And so it's not necessarily that I don't want to get better, but I need help from people. So I read the gospel differently now. I look at people who have disabilities differently now. I look at the world differently. It's really changed my whole way of perception.
And your ministry, has it changed your ministry?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. When I first started losing my hearing, I'm completely deaf now on my right-hand side. And when I first started losing my hearing, there was no guarantee that I wouldn't lose it on this side as well. And I'm thinking to myself, what in the world can a deaf priest do? So I learned how to sign. And no sooner did people find out that I knew how to sign than all of a sudden people were coming to the church asking for the deaf priest because they wanted to go to confession and they could not hear themselves. They wanted to be able to sign their confession. The first time I celebrated Mass and used my sign language, I found out that there were several deaf people in the church that were just amazed that they were able to hear God's message through my hands rather than through my mouth. And of course, being a person who is hearing impaired, I'm a very popular confessor now.